Welcome to this week's Word Nerd Trivia General Knowledge Quiz. Once again, we've compiled 40 questions and answers for you in many different categories. So grab a pen, keep score, and let's see what you got in the comments. Ready? Here we go. How many bones does an average adult human being have? 197, 206, or 270? An average adult has 206 bones. Now we're born with 270, but as we grow up, our bones fuse together. Which of these shows was not a spin-off of All in the Family? Maude, The Jeffersons, or The Archie Show? The answer is The Archie Show. That was an entirely different Archie. Which of these hands is best in poker? A straight, two pairs, or a flush? A flush is the best hand out of the three, but can still be beaten by a full house, four of a kind, a straight flush, or a royal flush. What does a person study if they're into cytology? Cells, eyes, or psychic phenomenon? Cytology is a study of animal and plant cells. What Greek historian is described as the father of history? Herodotus, Cicero, or Pericles? The answer is Herodotus. He wrote the Histories, which was published around 430 BC. It was one of the earliest accounts of the rise of the Persian Empire. What fictional detective meets their end in The Final Problem? Hercule Poirot, Sherlock Holmes, or Miss Marple? The Final Problem was meant to be the final Sherlock Holmes story. Arthur Conan Doyle was sick of writing about him. Needless to say, he'd go on to write an additional 32 short stories and 2 novels about him, so I guess he changed his mind. In the world of Fallout, what is used as currency? Teeth, bottle caps, or bullets? In most of the games, bottle caps were used as currency. What was the first film based on a Stephen King novel? The Shining, Salem's Lot, or Carrie? Brian De Palma's 1976 classic Carrie was the first adaptation. Who is the composer of this piece of music? That piece is called Aquarium, and it's from the Camille Saint-Saëns suite, Carnival of the Animals. What was the first movie based on a video game? Tron, The Last Starfighter, or Super Mario Bros.? The first video game-inspired movie was 1993's Super Mario Bros., and it is a miracle they ever tried making another one. What artist received the first gold record, awarded for songs or albums that sell 500,000 copies? Johnny Mathis, Glenn Miller, or Perry Como? Perry Como received the first gold record in 1958 for the song Catch a Falling Star. What country is represented by this flag? Samaria, Bangladesh, or India? That's the flag of Bangladesh. Who was the youngest U.S. president? Teddy Roosevelt, Bill Clinton, or John F. Kennedy? Roosevelt was the youngest, taking office at 42. The northern mockingbird is the state bird of which of these southern states? North Carolina, Florida, or Louisiana? The answer is Florida, but they're not alone. The northern mockingbird is also the state bird of Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas. It used to be the state bird of South Carolina, but I guess somebody there learned how to read a map. This is cartoonist Berkeley Breathed. What comic strip did he create? Calvin and Hobbes, Doonesbury, or Bloom County? He created Bloom County. Which of the 6 Friends characters never got married? Rachel, Joey, or Phoebe? Everyone on Friends got married except for Joey. He also didn't get married on his spin-off show, which was a thing that existed. What letter does not appear in the name of any US states? X, Q, or Z? No state name has a Q in it. In the video game Pac-Man, which of these bonuses has the highest point value? A strawberry, a Galaxian, or a bell? The answer is the bell, which first appears on the 11th level and is worth 3,000 points. What popular snack chip was invented at a restaurant in Disneyland? Fritos, Doritos, or Funyuns? The answer is Doritos. The restaurant, Casa de Fritos, fried up leftover tortillas instead of throwing them away, and they became wildly popular. Which of these movies came out first? Beverly Hills Cop, Purple Rain, or Dune? Purple Rain came out in the summer of 1984, while Beverly Hills Cop and Dune came out in December of that year. Before settling on their name, what band went by Sigma 6, the Megadeths, the Abdabs, the Screaming Abdabs, Leonard's Lodgers, and the Spectrum 5? Yes, Pink Floyd, or Steely Dan? Those were all early names for Pink Floyd. This well-known painting is entitled The Lady of Shalott. Who was the artist? John William Waterhouse, William Morris, or Robert Bateman? The answer is John William Waterhouse. Which ocean is the smallest? Indian, Arctic, or Southern? The Arctic Ocean is both the smallest and shallowest of the 5 oceans. Coleoptera is the largest order of insects in the animal kingdom, with more than 400,000 species identified. But what kind of insects are they? Ants, beetles, or flies? They're beetles. No, not that kind of beetles. Beetles make up 25% of all known animal species, and scientists say there's still probably like 1 million species they haven't ID'd yet. What movie is this dialogue from?
Hey, you're late.
I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it.
Well, if you need some more time, I guess I can wait.
Oh, I don't need more time, Robbie. I don't ever want to marry you.
Geez, you know, that information might have been a little more useful to me yesterday.
That's from The Wedding Singer. What album cover is this? That's Dookie by Green Day. In what country would you find Methuselah, believed to be the world's oldest living tree? India, the US, or Egypt? The answer is the United States. Methuselah is a 4,855-year-old Great Basin bristlecone pine tree in eastern California. What was the first U.S. state to join the Union? Pennsylvania, Delaware, or Maryland? The first state was Delaware, which joined the Union on December 7, 1787. Pennsylvania would follow 5 days later. Before becoming a prolific film composer, Danny Elfman was the frontman for what band? Wall of Voodoo, Oingo Boingo, or The Descendants? Elfman was the lead singer and songwriter of Oingo Boingo. What breed of dog is this? A Shih Tzu, a Lhasa Apso, or Pekingese? That's a Lhasa Apso. What is the capital of Australia? Sydney, Melbourne, or Canberra? The answer is Canberra. Who was the first woman elected to the U.S. Congress? Jeanette Rankin, Margaret Chase Smith, or Patsy Mink? In 1916, Jeanette Rankin of Montana became the first woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Which of these planets has the least number of moons? I'm sorry, that's not a moon. Thank you, that's way better. Earth, Venus, or Mars? The answer is Venus, which has no moons at all. What Roman emperor built a wall across northern Britain in 122 AD? Nerva, Hadrian, or Trajan? Hadrian's Wall was a stone wall that was intended to mark the boundary between Roman Britannia and unconquered Caledonia to the north. What movie is this frame from? That's from The Prestige. If you were to add up all the numbers on a roulette wheel, what would the total be? 430, 666, or 810? The answer is 666. And if you didn't know it before, I bet you're going to remember it now. Okay, follow-up question. If you were to multiply all the numbers on a roulette wheel, what would that total be? And no, I'm not giving you any choices. Yeah, it was way easier. The answer is 0. This is French author Gaston Leroux. What famous horror story did he write? At the Mountains of Madness, The Phantom of the Opera, or The Signalman? Leroux was the author of The Phantom of the Opera, which of course was most famously adapted as the film Phantom of the Mall. Yeah, I rented it. What current Olympic sport, invented in 1895, was originally called mintonette? Badminton, volleyball, or lacrosse? Mintonette was the original name for volleyball. It was created by a YMCA director in Massachusetts. What is anthophobia the fear of? Ants, flowers, or people? Anthophobia is the fear of flowers. Its name is derived from the Greek anthos, which means flowers. And just like that, you've reached the end of this week's quiz. Let's see those scores in the comments, and while you're there, a like and a subscribe would be kind of nice. We'll be back next week with a new quiz. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.